So since you were last here, we've been unbeaten in the league and all competitions actually. We're slowly marching our way into that top 10 and we may even start to creep into those Europa League places. It's all possible and there's a long way to go in the season, but it's starting to happen. Hello and welcome back to the Link and Loco. Today we've got two games for you, Norwich away and then Stoke at home. And whilst I've just been looking at this screen, I've realised that Hammer Time and Facundo Vieira are the same person. They have the same picture, same. They look exactly the same. So that is kind of confusing. If you actually click on them, do they still have the same picture at all? I mean, Hammer Time's not even loading. I'm clicking on him. Right, he looks the same, Hammer Time, as that picture. Facundo Vieira, does he look the same? He looks exactly the same. So a bit annoying. Either way, the reason they're both there is because they've been in absolutely incredible form recently. So we'll talk about more of them in a few moments' time. First of all, though, since you were last here, as I said in the introduction, unbeaten since you were last here. Last time you were here, we had the 2-1 loss to Man United and that bizarre 5-7 loss to Liverpool, which even sounds weird to say still. It's a bit weird. We then had Stoke in the Caraboa Cup 4th round. We drew overall in the game. We were 3-1 up actually and they came back and they looked like they were going to get a few goals towards the end. Went all the way to penalties and we managed to win on penalties 5-4, which was decent. Burnley played them at home, won 1-0, Hammer Time getting the only goal of that game. But it was a decent game for us in terms of we got the result we wanted. We were the better side throughout. We didn't really capitalise on our dominance in the scoreline. We then played Southampton at home, away obviously. They went up 1-0 first of all, but then we came back and won 4-2. So that was a pretty good result as well. Southampton are a decent side as well, so it was decent. Wesley Newport is one of the best players in the world as well. He's somehow at Southampton of all teams. I don't know why he's there. He's 21 years old though, he's absolutely incredible. And they only signed him for 5 million from Sparta in Holland. So they've done really well in signing him. He's a fantastic player. I'd love to have him alongside Hammer Time. We then played Brighton and left it pretty late actually to score Facundo Vieira, getting a 90th minute winner there for us in a 2-1 win over Brighton. Obviously we got 3 points, but we didn't play particularly well that game, so it was lucky for us to get that goal right at the very end. West Brom was next and we got very lucky actually to get a 1-1 draw. We played really poorly in that game. West Brom were much better than us and they deserved the win, if I'm being honest with ourselves. Kirby actually scored a header from a corner there to equalise for us, but we got the point at least and it kept our unbeaten run going, which is quite good. We then had a bit of a bollocking the team within a poor result and they decided to play the next game, beating Bournemouth 6-1 there, as you can see. We went 5-0 up actually. They scored one in the 54th minute before Mark Hall, the 16-year-old wonder kid that we've got coming through our ranks. He's one of our own, of course. He's got his 5-star potential, his 2-star current ability, which means he's good enough for League One at the moment, and he's 16 years old. He's got under 19 caps for England. I didn't pick him, even though I'm the England manager. He just was picked by who is the under 19 manager. So he's doing very well for himself at 16 years old, and he's already had a few first side appearances as well. So if he keeps scoring goals like that and things like that, his development's going to be incredible, I think. We then played Crystal Palace and won fairly comfortably. The scoreline reflects the comfortable nature of the game, I suppose. We probably weren't quite as disciplined at the back as we should have been, really, letting 2 goals in, but we scored 4 ourselves, which is very, very nice. We've scored quite a few goals in these games, as you can see, which is really good. Our strikers are on form, especially for Facundo Vieira, because Hammer Time's been injured the past couple of games, actually. Probably since, did he score in the Bournemouth game? I think he must have been injured before the Bournemouth game. I think it was probably the West Brom game that he got injured, and yeah, you can see there, West Brom, he got injured. So to say that we've scored 6, 10, 13 goals without him, it goes to say that, we don't necessarily need him in the side to be scoring goals. We've got Facundo Vieira who's bagging goals and other players as well, which is pretty decent. And then we played West Brom in the Caraboa Cup quarter-finals. It was 1-1 at full time. They scored late on to equalise, which is a bit annoying, especially because only 3 days later we got this Norwich game. I didn't want to play 120 minutes of football, but it didn't matter though because we did manage to score 2 goals in extra time to make sure we win 3-1 to set up a semi-final against Brighton. So once again, we're in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. We're doing pretty well this season. Importantly, Man United are not in it this year. They've been knocked out already, but Tottenham are still in it. And I feel like another Premier... I think it could be Southampton are still in it as well, I think. So if we get to the final, Tottenham are a beatable side, I think. And so are Southampton, as we've already proven. So I'm looking forward to the final if we get there, of course. We've got to get past Brighton first. So that's probably going to be next episode. I feel like there was some news to talk about. Oh, this was the news. I'm looking at more wingers. And I want to sign this guy, but his work permit's been rejected, but only for 3.3 million and £20,000 a week. And his current ability is 4.5 stars. I'm tempted just to pay it, and then just hope that he gets a work permit somewhere along the line, send him on loan somewhere, We've delayed it for now, and I'm going to try and delay it, I think, till January comes in. So that'll be interesting. But he's a player that I want. He's on the cheap, and surely he'll break into that Serbian side soon because he's sick. He just needs to come here, basically, then go on loan somewhere in Europe, and because he's then playing in a top European league, the Serbian national squad will be like, oh yeah, let's get him going. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So I think we probably will accept it. It may just go downhill. And the final little bit of news we've got as well, Jesus Jimenez, we signed in summer, another striker, target man. We sent him on loan to Porto because he didn't get his work permit, thinking if he goes to Porto, play some games, he'll get a work permit. He has played internationally now since last time for Mexico, and he's now got a work permit. So we're going to recall him in January, and he's probably going to be the second starting striker behind Hammer Time. Right, that is all the news. Let's get into today's game against Norwich then. Reynolds starts himself in goal. We've got a back line of Masovic, Williams, Benteke and Johnson. Kobayashi's unfortunately picked a bit of an injury recently. Jalapeno, Pandolfi and Peria start in that middle. Diaz just ahead of them, he's not the best player now. He's down to 2.5 star current ability, so I do want to get someone else in. We have got someone else in, but we can't play him because, of course, he's not got a work permit. Where is he? Last time we tried to sign players on free transfers to try and just boost in the 23 side or sell them on in the future. This guy came through on a free transfer. He was actually better when he first came. He had 3-star current ability and 4.5 star potential, but it's now gone down to 2.5 star current ability, 3.5 star potential. But that's still good. We signed him on a free transfer and he's worth 10 million. So January, I'm tempted to sell him in January for 10 million, or maybe in summer for 10 million. If we can get 10 million for him, that is the best free transfer I've ever done. Came from Cagliari, obviously was released there. Played very well in Serie A for them, but I guess he didn't want to sign a contract. Hammer Time and Facundo Vieira also start up front. Hammer Time coming back for his first game after injury. I promise you that's all the news now. Let's get into today's game, because I've been rambling on too much now before his first game. Let's get into it. If we can just get through all these screens now. Come on then. Norwich are a team for the taking. They're promoted from last season. They should be relatively routine to beat. Every time I say that though, we do lose. So prepare for us to get hammered. Kick-off finally underway here at Carrow Road. Norwich obviously the team kicking off, but they've given away possession cheaply there. We're playing the 4-3-1-2 formation today, not the wingers. That is because Angel Gomez has picked up an injury and we don't really have any other wingers other than him and Lukasic. So if someone gets injured, we have to sort of switch it up a little bit. That's why I wanted to sign that guy from Partizan, the Serbian wonder kid, purely because we need some extra players on the wing, and if they're better, then they're better. If they're worse, then they're worse. They're back of it. Just need to have an extra option there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. We need to get an extra 1 or 2 players on the wing in January, because January's coming up pretty soon, actually. I'd quite like to get another central midfielder in as well, who's as good as these guys, I suppose. Another option there, because we are a little bit limited, actually. These 3 can play there, and then we've got Diaz can play there, but he's more attacking midfield, not the best. And Coyle can play there as well, but he's more of a central defensive midfielder, so he's not the best either. So Facundo Vieira shot from distance. Saved by the goalkeeper very nicely, actually. That was a decent shot. And only the first shot of the game, actually. We wonder what's happened for half an hour, because literally for half an hour, that's been the first shot. That's weird, that is. I think I also forgot to show you where we are on the table as well, which is probably quite bad of me. After all those results, we do sit in 10th in the table, but a win today could take us above Tottenham into 7th place. So we're on the edge of that European place at the moment, those European Europa League places. We're not going to be anywhere near the Champions League for a few seasons yet still, of course. But obviously a win today would put us up there, although Chelsea would have a game in hand on us still, or Tottenham, whoever it is. So unlucky there, but now Norwich starting to come forward. They've put the ball into the area, but it's a bit far. Murphy gets onto the end of it though. Murphy now out to Bannigan, or whatever he's called, Brannigan, who cuts inside, puts it across, and Milan Bars, who I think we had on loan a few seasons ago, if I remember rightly. He was absolutely unmarked. Yeah, it said there, former club. Absolutely unmarked at the back post, and now Tottenham, with only their second shot of the game, have gone ahead of us. And I said Tottenham, it's Norwich. What am I talking about? I mean, this second half is actually pretty woeful at the moment. I really do not know what is happening, basically. Facundo Vieira has played well recently in the past few games. His form has been nothing short of sensational. So we'll have him starting more as a complete forward on attack. We'll bring Bedia on instead for Hammer Time as a target man on support. I mean, Pandolfi's not played well either, so we'll bring Coyle on for him. But I'm getting a bit frustrated actually at the moment. Why are we not scoring goals in this game? We've scored so many goals recently. We scored 13 goals in the past 3 games. We should be scoring plenty past Norwich right now. We've got a chance now to come forward. Jalapeno puts it into Peria. Peria tackled though, and now Wood has been put forward, although Williams makes a decent tackle there, but it's only as far as Milan Bars. Wood back on the ball, back to Bars, but Johnson makes a nice interception. Now Reynolds can clear it up towards Bedia. Bedia can't win the header, but Coyle does collect that ball, and now we've got a chance to move forward with the ball. Just do something creative, boys, with this, really. We've got all the time in the world. Just build up slowly. Let's build up slowly. Let's get a shot, work it into the box. Bedia's cross into the area, onto Diaz. Diaz scores it. That's exactly what I wanted, exactly what I said. We've got our nose back into this game now, and we have got the quality to go and stay we have got the quality to go and take this game for our own now. We've had 5 shots. That's still very, very poor. But, we should be having loads more shots and getting into this game. I mean, I can only make one more substitute, can't I? Can Jalapeno play on a wing? He can't. Can Pereira? He can't. Diaz kind of can, but I want to bring... I suppose, okay, Diaz move out to the wing. We'll move Pereira onto that wing and we'll leave Coyle and Jalapeno in the middle. We'll bring Lukasic on that right-hand side. Gives it a few more options, I suppose, doesn't it? We've got 10 minutes to score a goal. We're on overload now as well. Let's go and do this. Well, it was a highlight straight away after I say that. Coyle on the ball, through to Jalapeno, makes a great ball out to Diaz, into Facundo Vieira, back to Diaz. Diaz slides it through to Facundo Vieira, and what a shot that was. Absolutely rockets it in. There's no wonder Facundo Vieira is the top-rated player in the side at the moment. He's an absolutely inspired form at the moment. He's bagging goals left, right and centre. Every time he plays now, he's just doing well. He's scoring goals or assisting goals. He is the man of the moment this season. And I feel like we should have played more last season. He's got a chance again. He just hits the side netting there. We finally, in these final few minutes, come into our own here. Rashawn Williams is now injured, cannot play. And now, oh God, okay, right. Now we've got a hole at the back. Right. Coyle can play there. So we'll put him in the centre-back role. Diaz is going to have to come back and play more central, I suppose, in that middle. Lukasic is going to have to come back and just play on the wing there. Or Diaz, you're fine as a deep line playmaker. Will that be fine? Jalapeno come back more as a box-to-box midfielder. I don't know. Can Bedia play a bit further back? No. Okay, we'll leave it like that. We're going to play an orthodox 4-3-2 formation for the final 5 minutes. Also, we'll come off. We'll go contain, or this could be too late now as I've got a corner. Oh, no. Right, well, back to overload then. To try and grab a goal at the end of this. There's a highlight straight from kickoff, which does worry me. If they go and score this now, I'm going to be absolutely fuming. They're actually coming forward with it now. Jorginho. Oh my God. I'm not cross, I'm disappointed. That's what I am. I'm not cross, I'm disappointed. Oh, and there's 4. There's 4! Norwich are a team for the taking. They're promoted from last season. They should be relatively routine to beat. Every time I say that, though, we do lose. So prepare for us to get hammered. Oh, we've actually been playing so well these past few games as well. And it's like, I don't know. This has really, really annoyed me, that has, actually. That's really, really annoyed me. 2-1 up with 5 minutes to go. 2-1 up with 5 minutes to go. Rashawn's out for 2-3 weeks of concussion, which is annoying. Puts a run to 8 unbeaten games in a row as well, so that's annoying. We've got Stoke next, which is alright, I suppose. I mean, Stoke are a team we should be beating. We should be beating Norwich, obviously, as well, but just sometimes a football manager, well, obviously, it's a game, but sometimes the results do just really, really annoy you. Well, here comes that winger then. I reckon we do it. We'll just quickly check, though, where Serbia are in the world rankings, because if they're not in the top 50, they're in 25th. So if he plays international football, he should be able to get a work permit pretty quickly. So I'm going to accept it. It's only 3.3 million, £20,000 a week. We'll get him on loan come January in like a few days' time, and then when he comes back, he'll be an absolute first choice for us. Right, we're changing the formation up, obviously, for the Stoke game, because last game we played pretty poorly, to be fair. We shouldn't have lost, but we did play very poorly. Reynolds in goal, obviously. Masovic at left-back. Kobayashi comes in for the injured Rashawn Williams and pairs Benteke with Johnson alongside them. Jalapeno and Pereira retain their midfield positions, but Gomez and Lukasic come back on the wings. Diaz comes on the middle, and Facundo Vieira starting up front instead of Hammer Time. Hammer Time's our top goal scorer this season, but if you look at his form, it's not bad actually. When he's played, he has been scoring goals and getting assists. But if we look at Facundo Vieira's form instead, look at his form, he has been banging goals in or getting assists basically every single game. So he is fantastic. Right, kickoff is upon us. We're the home side and we're kicking off in the red. Stoke in the blue, and I'm hoping for a much better performance today, because last time out was just too lacklustre. We didn't have enough shots, we didn't create enough, and at the end, I know we had a man injured and we're a man down, but defensively we were so poor, and they've listened to me. They've listened to me, because 23 seconds into this game, we've already gone 1-0 up. Brahim Diaz scoring the goal. I slated him at the start of the episode, saying I'm thinking we should probably get someone else in. He has scored in both games though, so perhaps he's not that bad. He's played pretty well so far this season. Marseillaise now on the ball with a chance to try and break through from his marker, actually, and the ball's back out towards Johnson. Lacazette now is starting to get himself back into form towards the end, towards the middle point of his season now. Somehow the ball's not gone the back of the net. There's been a goal line scramble there, and I don't think Gomez could get the ball in the back of the net. If he had done, would be home and dry, 2-0 up already against Stoke. Not quite happened, but, you know, it's early promising signs that we're much better than last game at least. Jalapeno driving forward through the middle now. Diaz has been put through by Facundo Vieira, and that is another fantastic goal from Brahim Diaz. What a player he's been this episode. He's been the man of the episode, I think. Facundo Vieira picking up another assist in the process there. So again, warranting his starting place here. He's got his assist. He's been part of the goal again today. As long as you're staying part of the goals every single game, I've got to start playing him instead of Hammer Time, really, I suppose. It's now been played through. Vieira on the ball. Got a chance to put the cross in. In the cross. Oh, Diaz hits the crossbar. On the chance to get his hat-trick, he hits the crossbar. I'm backing him now to get a hat-trick in this game. He's on absolute fire. As you can see here, as the table currently stands, we're still on 10th place on 27 points, so we're not going to move anywhere. Their man, Sobi's just been sent off. Straight red. Not sure what for, but that's fine because we're on attacking. We're on very fluid. We've got the men forward. Hopefully we can capitalise on this now. Diaz plays it through to Gomez, through to Perrier. Perrier out to Lacazette. Lacazette to Jalapeno with a long-range effort just wide of the post. Just take shots now, boys, basically. You know, we've got the man advantage. Let's get the ball forward. Just have shots, and I'm sure the goals are going to start flying in. But this is more like it. This is what I've been seeing from the boys in the past few episodes, in the past few games, rather. Marseillaise now, through to Jalapeno. Jalapeno out to Gomez. There's so many highlights in this game, and they're all for us. I love it. Marseillaise get a chance to put the ball into the middle. He doesn't know. He plays to Jalapeno, who puts it back to Marseillaise in a better place. Out towards Lacazette on the far post, and Lacazzette's header just over the bar, and lucky stuff from the boy there. He's getting better and better as the season goes on. This is a disaster. Facundo Vieira picks up an injury. The man is in an absolute prime form at the moment. I mean, it's not that bad because we are replacing him with Hammer Time, who is better, and he was, at least until before he got injured, the Premier League top goal scorer of 15 goals or whatever he's got, 12, 15, something like that. Chance early on in the second half then as Lacazette puts it across the box. Gomez is there. The wingers have combined, and 27 seconds into the second half, similar fashion to the first half actually, when we scored very early on. We've now scored very early on in the second half. We're 3-0 up. Unassailable, surely. Unassailable. Gomez now, if he can get a ball across to Lacazette maybe. Perrier out towards Lacazette, please. Out towards Lacazette. Good ball there. Lacazette with the pace to come down that right-hand side, left-hand side rather, right-hand side. I can't know what side he's on. But either way, the ball went into Hammer Time. Hammer Time plays it down to Perrier, and Perrier in the back of the net, 4-0. Marseillaise through to Jalapeno. Jalapeno out to Perrier. Perrier back to Jalapeno. Out towards Lacazette again, but he's not won that ball. Now Stoke have a chance to come forward. It's Butnick who's like 1 on 10, and he has a shot from about 40 yards out, and it goes out for nearly a throw-in. I feel better now from this scoreline. The Norwich game, obviously, I mean, I don't know what happened there. 5 minutes to go, 2-1 up, and we lose it 4-2. Like, how does that even happen? We just must have switched off completely, and we've switched ourselves back on this game, and we decided that we're actually going to play football today. We'll make some subs then. Kobayashi's slightly injured, so we'll bring Garcia on for a rare start. He's not happy with me because he's not played a lot of games recently, so he'll probably be leaving soonish. Who else looks tired out there? Because we've got a game in 2 days' time, so we need to keep these players fit. We'll bring Pandolfi on for Jalapeno, I think. And then I suppose we should make one more, shouldn't we? Diaz has played incredibly well, but I want to keep him on for his hat-trick. And no one else is looking too tight at the moment, so we'll leave it for now. If someone gets tired in the next 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, we'll take them off. Well, this has been a thoroughly professional performance from the boys out there. We've commanded it from start to finish, and it's such a better performance than last episode. Last game rather than last episode. It is a better performance than last episode as well. We lost both games last episode. So to win 4-0 here today, we've had a blip on the unbeaten run, but hopefully we're going to carry on with that unbeaten run now. We're going to start it again fresh until probably next time we play Man United and Liverpool and lose 7-5 again. So Facundo also out with concussion for 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to miss him, but hopefully Hammer Time will get himself back in form. He's got his assist today, so that's pretty decent as well. Kobayashi is out for 2 weeks as well. That's going to be a big miss. So we're missing our 2 second best centre-backs basically. So it's going to have to be Garcia pairing up with Benteke now at the back. Right, next episode then is going to be the Caraboa Cup semi-final, because that's another chance to get into a final. So we've got 2 legs of that. So next episode is going to be Brighton and Arsenal, and then the episode after that will probably be Brighton and Man City. So some tough games coming up actually in the next 2 episodes. Thank you very much for watching today's episode. If you have enjoyed it, please do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, of course, and I will see you next time for more Lincoln Loco action.